So Hillary Clinton now announcing that she's asked the State Department to release her emails publicly. A response to the growing controversy over her use of a private server that's located in her own home in New York. So while she was Secretary of State, all of this was going on. Her aides had earlier insisted that doing government business on private email was really not that unusual, they said. Prior Secretaries of State had done the same thing. Senator Clinton talked about this issue, though, back in 2007, and she slammed the Bush administration. Listen to her words.
Our Constitution is being shredded. We know about the secret wiretaps. We know about the secret military tribunals, the secret White House email accounts. It is a stunning record of secrecy and corruption, of cronyism run amok. It is everything our founders were afraid of, everything our Constitution was designed to prevent.
That was back in 2007. Doug Schoen, a former advisor to President Bill Clinton, and Monica Crowley is the online opinion editor for the Washington Times. Both are Fox News contributors. Welcome to both of you. You know, initially I didn't know that this was going to be a big deal for her, but the server is such a deliberate act. You know, it's not just still using your Gmail account because it's convenient and everybody has that address, which it looked like initially. It's her own server. There were also select individuals on her staff who also had emails on that server. And this puts you in an outside realm to be able to communicate with other entities.
Well, first, it allows her to be hacked in a way that jeopardizes potentially national security, Martha. Second, it allows that, despite her now pronouncement that they will share and archive all emails, that some emails may not be locatable, can't be archivable. So it jeopardizes, I think, in the broadest sense, national security. I wouldn't use the language that Secretary Clinton used in 2007. I would just say it was a very bad decision, raises questions about her judgment and her commitment to transparency and arguably how a Secretary of State should operate.
Yeah, and it revives the notion, because everybody knows under the Obama administration, they really wanted everybody to be on the same page with the email addresses, that the Clintons play by their own rules.
Well, yes, and remember that Barack Obama, when he first came into the presidency, talked about how his administration was going to be the most transparent administration in U.S. history. What you heard there from Hillary Clinton, Martha, 2007, that is pure projection. She was accusing the Bush administration of ravaging the Constitution, secrecy, of cronyism, accusing her opponents of all the things of which she is guilty and would be guilty of as Secretary of State. The fact that she set up this domain, set up her special server, put it in her house where the Secret Service would be protecting it, that shows premeditation, which means corruption. And the reason she set it up is pretty obvious, because she didn't want the American people or Congress to have reach of these emails. So to Doug's point about the possible breaches of security, she would have rather have had the North Koreans, Chinese, Russians, and Iranians take a look at these emails.
Well, she's going to say none of that happened. You know, that it was personal emails, that she was talking about her daughter's wedding, that there were things that she was doing that were on the personal side. But the problem is we'll never know. Because you can't ever get the complete contents of her personal, unless, and we're going to talk the legality of this in just a moment with Judge Napolitano. But go ahead, finish your point.
I was going to say the White House counsel was not aware of what she was doing. So if it was personal emails that she was trying to protect, there would have been a way proactively and prospectively to have organized it to protect the ones that were national security and those that were personal. But this was just basically an effort, an operation that was unknown to anybody.
All right, so let's talk about the politics in 2016 where this is concerned. Is it possible, Doug, that it doesn't look that way with this one, but there have been a couple stories recently that have felt like she was putting stuff out there because she wants to get it out before they get too close to 2016. Does this one feel that way to you?
Well, it did come out on the eve of Prime Minister Netanyahu's speech. It did come out at a time when the country was riveted on the Middle East. But this, plus the questions about the donations from foreign governments, does raise questions about how much more there is to get out.
Let's listen to this from David Axelrod, because some are saying it's stunning how few people are coming to her defense. And what does that mean about what the Democrats want for 2016? Here's David Axelrod.
This problem is being exacerbated by the lack of answers from the Clinton campaign or the nascent campaign. And it would be good to get out there and answer these questions. Why did she use a separate email? How did she secure that email? Was there another email through which she communicated with people. By not answering these questions, they're allowing the story to fester in ways that are unhelpful, and so lack of speed kills in this case.
All right, you get the idea.
Yeah, well,
that is not a defense. The Obama folks, do they want Elizabeth Warren to run, Monica?
The Obamas and the Clintons loathe each other. This has been longstanding. Everybody sort of knows that. But what's interesting about this comment is that it tells you that there's no reservoir of goodwill for Hillary, that the Democratic Party and the press like Bill Clinton, and they like their Democratic agenda, but they don't particularly like her. So now you have media outlets, New York Times, Washington Post, the Associated Press, threatening to sue under FOIA, Freedom of Information Act requests, to try to get a hold of these emails. Without that kind of reservoir of goodwill for her, she is going to face quite an uphill battle. And I also think, I used to think when this story first broke that she released it to get it out, get the bad news out, then she can claim it's old news. But now I think they haven't been in front of this. I think they were taken by surprise. And the fact she let days go by before she tweeted last night at 11:30 that she would like to see these emails out shows they don't have control over it.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thank
you
you
very much.